The big night in Lawrence, Kansas. The Sunflower Showdown weekend is underway. Fans from all over the state of Kansas flocking into historic Allen Fieldhouse for one of the oldest rivalries in volleyball. So good evening, everybody. Sam Gore along with legendary head coach Mary Wise. Madison Fitzpatrick will also join us. Mary, there's some nights that you don't want to end, and we're just getting this one started. But it's not only going to be a fun night, it's also going to be a memorable night.
You know, Sam, there are matches that players remember long after they graduate, be it against their arch rival or part of a big event. Tonight, it's both. This is one that the players aren't soon to forget.
And you are not going to forget a player we're about to talk about in Jovana Zelinovic. She is awesome.
You know what the great players can do? They can score in a multitude of ways. Jovana behind the service line with her jump top spin, blocking at the net. She's a run stopper there. And then, oh, of course, that swing that can get kills in lots of ways.
Well, not only is Zelinovic the primary option, she has a lot of help, so they are very difficult to scout. 4 players averaging almost 3 kills per set, so you never know who's going to beat you. However, for Kansas State, we know where the ball's going, and that is to Shaylee Myers.
Myers is having the kind of season that you want all your seniors to have. That is their best year. She's going to score points both front row and back row. For her to play well tonight gives K-State a chance, and that is what needs to happen.
Myers, one of the top attackers in the country, 8th in the country in kills per set. I mentioned Madison Fitzpatrick is with us tonight. And Madison, not only is this a big match in the rivalry, it's a pretty big deal for the whole state.
Absolutely, Sam. Here's a fun fact for you. The state flower for Kansas is a sunflower. So this Sunflower Showdown is for bragging rights across the whole state. This is the 131st time Kansas and Kansas State have played each other. And this rivalry extends past volleyball. This weekend, baseball and football are playing as well. Head coach of Kansas, Matt Ulmer, said he's excited to see the turnout. We're in Allen Fieldhouse against the in-state rival for the Sunflower Showdown on a football weekend. He said this will show us the true potential that Kansas volleyball has in this state. And just looking around, feeling this energy, I think the potential is really good and really high.
Yeah, it is packed tonight. That baseball game you mentioned was taking place when we came in. Football game tomorrow, but these fans have packed the fog for this historic moment. They're hoping to break a regular season attendance record tonight. Ray Bouchard, the legendary Hall of Fame coach at Kansas, was just honored before the match. Matt Ulmer sang the national anthem. He is the head coach of the current Kansas team. It's been a fun night, and now we're ready for the main course, and it will be Kansas State serving, specifically Emerson Van Allen. We're underway in Lawrence. An attack right out of the middle. Myers with the diggers. Clinton on the left side gets the opening kill, and that's a big boost for Clinton.
Absolutely. Sam, for K-State to get off to a quick start is huge, and they did in transitioning that last one perfectly.
Important for Kansas State to get off to a good start here with this massive crowd. There's Zelinovic's first swing, and she blows up the block right away.
Didn't take long, did it? It's her ability to get the ball to the right side. She's a right-handed hitter and swing line. If the block takes it away, then she just tools the block. No biggie. It's what she does.
Ryan White back to serve. The libero in the different colored jersey plays defense the entire time. And Ryan White with an ace right away, her 20th of the season.
Watch, Ryan's serves tend to be flat, low to the tape, and they don't spin. So these balls move. They are hard to pass.
LeGrand with a set on the right side. Overpass, and that is hit out. Point Kansas. Schmidt mistimed that, and the Jayhawks off to a quick start. Now this Jayhawk team on a 5-match win streak had a massive win over 10th-ranked TCU. They had lost to TCU earlier in the week. Their RPI will climb when the new numbers come out later. Back row attack, setting up Clinton. That was an excellent dig by Dalton to keep that rally alive. And then they turn it into a point with Nelson.
tough play for Kansas State. That's their second overpass that they weren't able to kill. And Kansas isn't going to give away many points. They have to take advantage when they get those opportunities.
Good service run here for Ryan White. Serving pawn again. Clinton through the block, point Kansas State, her second kill. Well, we talked about Matt Ulmer singing the national anthem tonight. He is the head coach of Kansas. In his first season, built Oregon into a national contender with multiple regional semifinal and final appearances. And what a job he's doing here in Kansas in his first year. That serve is out. This Kansas team opened the season with 14 straight road matches. And we got to see them on their opening home weekend, Mary, and they've just gotten better and better.
And they played as tough a non-conference schedule as there is, but they're reaping the benefits from it now. Here, Sam.
Here's Zelinovich serving, hammers that. Nice serve received by Sims. Dalton, back set, nice up by Myers. Here's Fox, her first attack. Tip over the block, another good dig by Sims. And Nelson hits it out, point Kansas State. A lot of good defense in that rally.
And by playing in throughout that rally, that gets Zelinovich off the service line. So that becomes even bigger for K-State. They get the serve and they get her to the bench.
Anaya Clinton, who's had over 20 kills 3 times this season, back to serve. You have students at both ends of this court. Myers, again, another overpass that Kansas State doesn't score off. And Patak attacks.
This combination between Dalton and Patak, it's only gotten faster since the last time we saw him, Sam, which means when it's a fast set, it's even more difficult to block.
Yeah, they like to play fast. Grace Nelson serving. Good serve off the net. Myers attack, just out. And Kansas State is led by Jason Mansfield in his 3rd season. He was part of 7 NCAA national semifinals, 1 national championship during his stints as an assistant at Stanford and Washington. And I want to give a shout out to Jason Mansfield as well, Mary. As a head coach, you can appreciate this. Matt Ulmer told us this match was originally supposed to be played at Kansas State, but when they had the opportunity to make it part of the Sunflower Showdown, including the football game tomorrow, Jason agreed to play the match here at Kansas.
Because they both understand that they each have a responsibility to help grow volleyball in this state, and this is one way to do it.
That is a class act that we don't want to go unnoticed. And a kill from Myers. And the effort has paid off, playing here in Allen Fieldhouse for the first time since 2013. Dalton setting the left side. That's the first swing for Swanson. And may have a net violation there on Kansas State.
It's great to see Swanson playing as well as she is for Kansas, number 4, because she's got such a high contact point. There's going to be times where she's going to hit over the block in this match.
Patak back to serve. A unanimous preseason All Big 12 selection last year. Was the Big 12 Freshman of the Year. Serves deep. Myers had to make a play on it. And now Myers from the 3-meter line. Back row tip by Nelson. Middle attack by Williams, blocked. Kapotz gets another block. Wow, Dalton, the setter, got most of that one.
You know, when your setter is blocking balls for you, yeah, you know things are going well. And Dalton, she's got length, she's got long arms. She's a really good blocker. My point is, it's not Zelinovich who's going to get her blocks. You want to get at least a little bit of a break.
Yeah, Dalton is a 6'1" setter that plays even bigger than that. Patak serves again. Legrand sets the right side and a big swing by Reagan Fox.
Oh, that's huge because that pass was pushed towards the left side. You would think it would be going to Myers here on the left, but what a great job by Legrand to what we call reverse the set and bring it to the right side hitter.
Kaylee Pond serving. Swanson goes down the line. Sims has done a great job defensively that time, though. I cannot save the rally. And the point goes to Kansas. Swanson again just getting better and better. They need her to score in this 5-1 now. Kristen Klein, the other setter, they were running a 6-2, has been struggling with a concussion, so she's unable to play tonight. So they've been forced into this 5-1. Taken over. Zelinovich. Wow. Rally still going. Williams thought they had won it for Kansas State. And now they finally do. And it is Williams who ultimately wins the rally.
Double duty for Williams. She's in on the block and then the transition on the slide. What a great hand position on the block. Look how far over her right hand is.
So that ball went off of Papat's foot, which is what Williams didn't see when she thought the rally was over. Zelinovich hammers it. Dalton setting quick to Papat's.
Papat's main role on this Kansas team is blocking balls. So early in a match, she may get more looks than she usually does. And if you're a middle who works so hard blocking and you finally get set, you want to take care of the ball by killing it. That's exactly what she did.
Papat's from Croatia, Zelinovich from Serbia. Two Europeans up on the front line right there. And Zelinovich reaches over and makes a play on that. Left side attack blocked. White has time. She'll set Zelinovich. And Zelinovich hammers it.
Coming in hot right at us.
Yeah.
So here's what Kansas can do. Setter plays the first ball. Most teams would be out of system. But if you're Kansas, all you got to do is put that ball up in the air and let the great freshman take care of the rest.
Well, the history just pours outside of Allen Fieldhouse. This is where Kansas volleyball used to play until they had their own facility built. The Horace Family Volleyball Center is right next door. But obviously the basketball team still plays here, and this is the birthplace of basketball. Tonight, though, they're trying to set a regular season attendance record for volleyball here at Kansas, and it's looking good. Papat's with another break right out of the timeout.
Doing what she does best. You know, that back row attack, that ball is coming further off the net. So much of it has to be with timing. She looks like she's been doing that all of her life.
Papat's considered one of the best middle blockers in her age group in Europe. And then it's set. Williams goes line, misses.
But I can see why they would want to run that, and she just missed it. I wouldn't be surprised to go right back to it because I think the matchup between Williams and Nelson favors Kansas State's middle.
4-0 run right now for the Jayhawks. Bell back to serve. Serves it short. Nice receive by Clinton. Now she'll attack and blocks Zelinovich. When Zelinovich and Papat's are next to each other, beware.
was all set up with that short serve, took the middle out so that the block could gather against the left side. That's what it's supposed to look like, Sam.
Well, Mary, we've been talking about how much fun we've been having before the match, and Madison is going to take us through something that happened just prior to the match. Mads?
Yeah, we all had such a treat before the match. Head coach Matt Ulmer sang the national anthem. Now, this started back when Ulmer was at Oregon. He wanted to break a season ticket record, so he told his team, if we break the record, I'll sing the national anthem on senior night. Sure enough, he sang the national anthem on senior night. A few days ago, he told his team, hey, if we beat Houston and TCU, I will sing the national anthem, and they swept both. So he did and sing, and let's take a listen.
Land of the free and the home of the brave.
Coach Ulmer told us how he practiced, where he would sing the national anthem for his kids every single night. He said he's the worst singer in his family, but he'd do anything for this team. And guys, just listening to that national anthem, he's definitely not the worst singer in his family. He's got pipes.
Well, he's not the worst singer on this table, I'll tell you.
Well, he grew up singing in church, he told us, and he said it was a good civics lesson for his kids because they now know the national anthem, and they're pretty young. So Kansas right now is making him happy on the court. Back to serve now is Logan Bell. Kansas up 15-7. Another short serve that worked earlier. White setting Zelinovic. Nice job by Myers to keep that alive. Nelson into the block. And a nice wildcat block gives Kansas State the point. I actually think LeGrand got most of that, the setter. That ends a 5-0 run.
That was huge because Kansas State just hadn't found any sort of rhythm on their offense in that rotation.
Van Lannen back to serve for the Wildcats. Second service error of the set for Kansas State. No aces yet for the Wildcats. And Ryan White will be serving again. Ryan White transferred in from Oregon State when she was a Beavers libero. Matt Ulmer was coaching Oregon. He would not let his players hit to her, and now he gets to coach her. Back row attack. Sims keeps it alive. Clinton, and Clinton tools the Zelinovic block.
Which is such a great swing against that size of block. To go in there and think, is it the ball that I can use hands on? Meaning it's not too far off the net, it's not too low. It was the perfect ball for that swing.
And Clinton's having a very good opening set, 3 kills on 6 swings. Nelson puts it to the floor for another kill, her second.
You can see it on that last play. Schmidt kind of cheated towards her left, and as a result was late closing. And when you get a late closing middle, that's when that outside hitter, you got to get your arm through, swing for the kill, and that's what Nelson did.
Here comes Zelinovic, unleashes on that serve. Good receive by Myers, and then a fast kill on the right side by Clinton.
That's a rotation that is so important for Kansas State to get out of one and done, not just because of who's serving for Kansas, but because of where their hitters are lined up. Huge, huge point for Kansas State.
And that gets them in the positive hitting percentage now. 7 kills, 6 errors for Kansas State. Nelson into the block, and Fox denying the Nelson attack for another Wildcat point.
Both these teams run what we call that fast offense, meaning that set's not going to get very high above the tape. The good news is you might get seams in the block or holes in the block. The bad news is sometimes you can get shot committed. That's what happened with Nelson on that last swing.
Overpass, Myers blocked by Dalton. Myers will try again. It's Patak in the hands. Patak off the slide. Schmidt in the middle, nice diving save by McCarthy. And out of play, Nelson with another kill, her third, and she now has the most kills for Kansas.
That was that that area right between the left back and the left front, where it wasn't the hardest hit ball, as you can see, but it's like two players both wondering who's going to go for it.
And that's something Matt Ulmer's wanted to see from her, as well as that ace. Nelson with the ace behind the service line. But getting back to what I was saying, he wants to see more variety of shot from her. She loves to just crush it. Two aces in this opening set for Kansas. Myers to the corner, no touch, point Jayhawks, and Kansas hits the 20-point mark first. The set goes to 25, win by 2.
That was the tough one because they got the ideal pass. It was a really good run between what we call a double quick, just couldn't find the court.
Myers, plenty of time. Dalton setting Swanson. Free ball here for Kansas. Let's see where they go. Off the slide. Nice save by Sims. Dalton takes it over herself. Sims is there again. Myers with the tip. And that attack is out by Patak. A good D by the libero, Simone Sims, to keep Kansas State in that rally.
Sam, is she quick or what? It's so fun to watch. She may not be the tallest libero that we're going to see, but we're not going to watch many that are quicker.
That's her serving, already 4 digs in this opening set. Swanson hammers it to the back line.
There is the length, the long arms, and the jump of Swanson. She's so athletic. This is an out-of-system ball, but she gets her feet there. So she's going to hit this at full extension and gets that ball right in the seam. What a great swing by her.
Swanson touches 10-5. She's 6'2". It's one of the unique things about volleyball. So many of these players can dunk. And wow, what a nice serving set for the Jayhawks. That's ace number 3, first for Patak. And they only have 1 service error in volleyball. Mary, you like to keep that ratio at 1-to-1, right?
Yeah, but that's really hard to get because you play against such good teams. Aces are hard to come by.
Right now, Kansas way in front of that ratio. 3 aces, 1 error. Nice save on the net by the setter, Legrand, and Kansas State ultimately wins the point. Good job by number 11 in purple, Ava Legrand, the setter.
Great save by her. I wish we could go out and measure her hands, because I'm going to guess she has some of the bigger hands on this court. And maybe that's one of the reasons why she's able to make that kind of play.
And Kansas State has their first ace. And it comes courtesy of Kaylee Pond. And that's one thing that we have learned from Mary Wise this year. Volleyball coaches, coaches look at different things in their sport. But volleyball coaches like to look at the size of players' hands, especially the setter.
It's a thing. Setters, blockers, hitters, you name it.
Dalton setting the middle, and there's Sims again to deny it. Myers pushes it back line. Good job by Nelson. Swanson into the corner. Good. Couldn't have walked it over there any better.
The reason that's such a great swing is you have there in that defense, that spot, that's that roll shot in no man's land, and you have to go all out and just hope you can get a touch on the ball, but that time it went for the kill for Kansas.
Keep in mind, Kansas normally doesn't play on this court, and they're looking very comfortable right now. There's the pancake by White. Myers, there's Nelson. Dalton setting Swanson. A nice sliding save by Legrand. Dalton, Zelenovic pushes it down. It is set point Kansas.
Well, Sam, what are you going to do if you see that the block is inside, giving Zelenovic the line? Are you going to charge? I, for one, am not. And that's why that tip is wide open.
She just has so many options. Fans on their feet in Allen Fieldhouse. Kansas takes the opening set. A fired up Jayhawk crowd can say rock, chalk, Jayhawk after the first set as Kansas takes it 25-14. We'll talk to Kansas State head coach when we come back. Well, you're looking at our ESPN Sunday women's volleyball doubleheader this weekend. We'll start in the SEC with Arkansas hosting Florida at 1 Eastern, and then it's an ACC top 25 matchup. Louisville and the Tar Heels of North Carolina. You can always watch both of those on the all-new ESPN app. And let's head down now to Madison Fitzpatrick with Coach Mansfield.
Coach, going into the second set, what adjustments do you need to see defensively from your team?
Yeah, I thought we did a good job. We only held them to 10 kills, and it's really about us trying to score, right? We're trying a little bit too hard to get kills. We're pressing a little bit too much. We hit too many balls out of bounds, so we just got to attack the court and or attack the block if the set's tight, but just got to hit the shots that we're capable of hitting.
Thank you, Coach.
So, Mary, as we digest the stats from that opening set, what were some of the things you felt like were factors?
I think it's like for Kansas, they are on serve receive, pass, set, kill, and that's how they side out. For Kansas State, they are having to just grind it out to find side outs and points. And let's give credit to the block of Kansas, to the hitters of Kansas. But right now, I think the key will be for Kansas State, can they get into a side-out rhythm, pass that kill? And, you know, I think they can because we haven't seen Shailene Myers really get on track yet. It's in there.
Well, this Kansas team again on a 5-match win streak. They have played 7 5-setters this season. They have won 9 of their matches in sweeps. And this rivalry taking place for the 131st time. It is a massive deal among all the sports teams between Kansas and Kansas State. And the Jayhawks off to a good start. We'll start set number 2 with Logan Bell serving for the Jayhawks. Serves it at Myers. LeGrand comes in to set Clinton. Ryan White with an excellent dig. And then the back row attack just a little ambitious for Bell. Point, Kansas State.
But that dig by Ryan White, you know, it'll just go in the box score as a dig. But that was elite. And the reason why is because the range she showed. That ball was not hit near her. She went and got it.
And now you know why Matt Ulmer didn't want his Oregon Ducks to hit at her. There she is again with a set. Her secondary setting is excellent as well. Clinton, White again. Dalton sends it back. And Zelinovich unable to get the kill, but Kansas still in the rally. Zelinovich, swing off hands, kill. And even Jason Mansfield today said she's basically unstoppable.
Because of her length, she's hitting that ball at a contact point that very few teams have in their gym to practice against. And so she's hitting it from a high contact point. Oh yeah, and it's really hard.
0 errors for Zelinovich, 10 swings, 4 kills. That's a hitting percentage of .400. Off the slide, Schmidt is denied by Grace Nelson.
Yeah, I think, you know, Sam, I wonder if Schmidt, who has been out with injuries, she's just going to need a little bit more time. In this case, she ran past that set. She, what we call overran it. And so then she's shot committed. She has to hit angle. Nelson was right where she needed to be for the block.
Nelson, a legacy player. Her sister played here at Kansas for Ray Bouchard. And another kill by Clinton, who is having a fantastic match. She's really carried them offensively tonight.
Oh, I love it when seniors show up to play, and that's exactly what she's done tonight. Nia Clinton has.
Clinton, 5 kills, 3 digs. Setter LeGrand serves from Nebraska, where she was born. Sims almost goes into the bench to send that back into play. Free ball here for Kansas. Dalton with options, go to Zelinovich. And Sims dives in to keep it alive again. That goes out, point Kansas.
Oh, tough one. You know, I called Clinton a senior only because she's a redshirt junior, and I feel like I've known her from the recruiting years. I swear I was watching her when she was 12. Well, she's been around so long. I'm
glad to hear you say that, Mary, because as broadcaster, there are some players we feel like have been around for 10 years.
Right.
And you can't believe they're not even seniors then. Zelinovich, another big serve. LeGrand has to run up, try to save it, does. Zelinovich keeps it alive. Nelson into the block. LeGrand, back row set to Myers, and she missed it long. Point Kansas. Now, they've not gotten Myers going yet, Mary.
But I like that set. It was fast. The setter, LeGrand led her. I think if she can just think about going a little bit more angle, she's going to find that court.
Yeah, now Myers top 10 in kills per set, averages 5 a set. She's only got 2 total tonight. And Clinton off hands. Clinton has been shouldering the extra kills tonight.
And what a luxury when you've got 2 outside hitters that can get kills for you. So you're not going to have great matches every night. You just want to avoid, obviously, you know, what we call a bad match.
Well, Myers has plenty of time to have an outstanding match here. That's her trying to block, but it's Schmidt who gets the block to give Kansas State the point, and the Wildcats right back in the start of the second set. We're tied at 4.
Blocking the quickest way to make up for when your offense isn't fully on track, block balls, and that's what they're doing.
Overpass, Dalton again denying Myers. Dalton with a set, Nelson hammers it.
Give Nelson credit there. She saw that Schmidt, the blocker for Kansas State, there was a little bit late, the middle number 18, and so she had that seam and she took the rip and scored.
And Grace Nelson, her sister played here. Mary, you coached against her mother. She was a player.
Pretty nice player at the University of Iowa she played at. Her daughter, her game is very similar.
Patak crushes the overpass.
You know, Sam, when you're playing a hot team, of which Kansas is a hot team, they're really playing well these past several matches. You just want to be able to take advantage of the breaks and not give them many points. And that's what Kansas State is going to get into eventually, into that kind of rhythm where they just don't give away the points.
Fox with the kill for Kansas State. Sims will go back to serve.
This is a good rotation for Kansas State. Can they put together a couple of points behind the service line? that would be considered a run of points if you can score 2 here.
Sims with the service error. She's done an outstanding job defensively and also a fantastic student. How about a 4.0 GPA last year in the classroom? Patak back to serve now. Patak actually coaches a junior club team here in Kansas. She and Ryan White on the same team may end up being coaches one day. Dalton keeps it alive. Swanson will attack. Sims with the set to Myers. Her attack is blocked. LeGrand saves it. Myers again off hands. Swanson into the block. Point Kansas.
Does that look like a senior? And that shot by Swanson, number 4. The set was inside. She got her feet there. The ball was a little bit tight, so she used, we call it swiping off the block. That's such a heads-up play there.
Yeah, Swanson, local, grew up just about 2 hours from here. Pearson, Kansas. Patak serves. LeGrand to Clinton out of the back row, and Nelson had to get out of the way. I bet Nelson was a good dodgeball player. That was a nice aversion of that attack. I think her life flashed before her eyes.
You think they played dodgeball there in the suburbs of Chicago when she was growing up?
Probably. On the pavement, no doubt. Attack. Oh, nice save by LeGrand. That could have been an ace. Myers. Dalton takes it herself. LeGrand's ready. Myers. And Myers gets the kill. Forcing that through the block for kill number 3.
Some nights it doesn't come easy. You just have to work through it. I give Myers a lot of credit because the effort is there. The kills are going to follow, and maybe that's the one that gets her untracked offensively.
What's your standard advice when the kills aren't coming and that's what you're known for?
Help your team in other ways. That's what she's doing, like that defensive play right there. You can help your team, help them score, even if it's not by killing balls.
LeGrand with the set. Here's Myers.
There we go.
2 in a row for Myers as that arm is waking up.
Yeah, and a great set by LeGrand. That's what we call that speed offense. Look, that ball barely covers above the top of the tape. What a great swing.
Myers, one of those athletes coaches dream of, does incredible work ethic. And another nice block by Kansas State to pull within 1. Fans trying to get involved now. Swanson. LeGrand with the set. Good job by Pond. Swanson into the block. LeGrand blocks that. Swanson will attack again, this time with power, but missed it wide. Point Kansas State. And the Wildcats have come back to tie the score.
Playing low air, blocking balls, staying in the rallies long enough. It's a game of momentum and runs, and right now, K-State's on one.
Kansas won the opening set in this 3 out of 5 set match. And Swanson tools the Kansas State block for another kill. That's her 4th.
It's high, it's hard, and when it goes off the block deep, advantage goes to the offense.
Always so special when you get to play for the school that you dreamed of playing for, and that's Swanson. LeGrand, quick set to the middle, and nice attack. And we go back to Madison Fitzpatrick for more on Swanson. Maddie?
Well, I talked to Ryan Swanson earlier this week, and she told me what she's working on throughout her gameplay is the attack mindset. She said, whatever I do, I know my libero has me covered. So when you see her going after the block, just know it's that mindset fueling that attack.
There's Swanson attacking. Zelinovich. Good job by K-State to block that attack. Here's Clinton. Clinton again. That is just, again, that's a huge confidence boost because when Patak, or when Papats and Zelinovic are next to each other, that is almost a force you can't hit through.
They are both averaging well above 1 block per set. Tough to swing them around.
Love that fist pump from Clinton. Swanson tried to cut it sharp, and Williams is there for the denial. So Kansas will have to take a timeout, as Kansas State looking much better after dropping the first set.
SEC all day on ABC.
This is about as good as it gets if you're a college football fan.
Big Saturday SEC on ABC, and a big weekend here in Lawrence, Kansas for the Sunflower Showdown. We have the baseball game earlier tonight, volleyball match tonight, football game between these two schools tomorrow. And Kansas State, Mary, they have responded now here. They've won 7 of the last 8 points.
And they're doing a lot with offense here.
Zelinovic attacks, kept alive by Sims. Nice up by Dalton. Swanson. LeGrand, a lot of time to set. Ryan White with the dig. And LeGrand takes it over for the kill. 13-10 Kansas State. Madison, I know you were listening into the Kansas huddle in that timeout.
Yes, and Coach Ulmer was saying out of system, we need to lead ourselves to the net more. So being more aggressive in transition and then blocking. Since Kansas State has started to heat up offensively, he said we need to be really disciplined and stay square on our blocks.
Swanson off hands. It's Myers that dug it in the back row. Point Kansas State. The Jayhawks having trouble getting kills right now.
So here's Kansas State that only had 8 kills in the first set, and what are they up to, 9 already? That bodes well for them.
Kansas State's won 9 of the last 10 points. Kansas with only 5 kills this set. And they won't add another one. The Wildcat block is too tough. Jordan Williams with the block. White with a serve receive. Dalton will set Zelinovic. Zelinovic to the corner, missed it. And Kansas in the negative right now. 5 kills, 7 errors on 31 swings.
And so watch Kansas. They've changed the passing pattern. Well, now they're going to make the sub here. But see if they can't get the ball back to Zelinovic, who is naturally this year has been playing on the right side. Watch her run behind the back of the court and see if they don't set her on the backside.
Zelinovic, number 9 in white. Here she comes. And gets the kill.
And there she goes.
You saw it. She started on the left side of the court and rotated around to the right for that attack.
She's more natural on the right side. So in this rotation, to get her over there, where she's very, very comfortable.
And that ended a 7-0 run for Kansas. So they had lost 7 in a row. Tipped over the block. Nelson kept it alive. Bell out of the back row. Wow. Logan Bell flies in.
Well, who doesn't have a DS who can kill balls out of the back row with that kind of jump and swing? How impressive is that? I love jumpers.
Logan Bell, her mom was a setter at Miami of Ohio. It's the Indiana Gatorade High School Player of the Year. And the service error gives the point back to Kansas State. Just the second service error of the night for Kansas. They had the 3 aces in the first set. But this set's been all Kansas State so far. Van Lanen back to serve. LeGrand to Schmidt off the slide, and Schmidt increases the Kansas State lead.
We call that a tight slide, meaning it's that 1-foot takeoff, but it's right behind the setter. You can do that when you got that perfect pass. The left side blocker, Nelson, had gone wide. Schmidt delivers. What a swing. Having herself a night. She has played so well, both blocking and attacking, and from the get-go she has led this Kansas State team with her offense, and this is why we're in a position where Kansas State is up 18-12 now in the second set.
Well, the set started tied at 4 apiece, and now we're at 18-12. As you mentioned, Clinton with 7 kills, averages 4 per set this season. And keep in mind, Shaylee Myers with only 4 kills so far, and an ace for Kansas State. Their second of the match. Van Lanen rips that one.
You know, Sam, these are those moments when, as a team, you're watching Kansas State. They haven't had a whole lot of success. Most recently, you know it's in them as a coach. You just have to hope your team believed you in the film session. As well as Kansas State is playing, this is what they're clearly capable with all that talent.
Well, Madison, I know you were listening in on the Kansas huddle again.
Well, Coach Matt Ulmer is always very calm. He was saying, I just need everyone to take care of their jobs. Tune out the outside noise. Think about what's ahead of you. And he said, we can't play patty cake. We'll lose 7 points. So we need to be more aggressive and take care of our jobs.
Zelenovic unable to get that to go down. Ryan White saved it. Zelenovic tips to the back row. And how about that? LeGrand winning the joust.
We've seen that more than once, that a setter wins the joust. Why is that, Sam? Well, they get more opportunities. But crafty setters understand, she who touches the ball last wins the joust. And that's exactly what LeGrand did on that last play.
Some housekeeping going on down there. It is hot in Allen Fieldhouse, so no air conditioning in here. Good thing it was a cool day outside. Clinton. That felt good.
Remember early on in the first set, there were 2 overpasses that Kansas State wasn't able to connect with. Clinton connected every bit of that one.
Kill number 8, and Kansas State is closing in on tying this match. Dalton setting Zelenovic. Myers blocked by Papats. Ryan White kept that alive. Kansas starts over. Zelenovic goes outside the antenna, brings it back in. A nice save by Van Lanen. And Clinton continues to dominate.
What a great swing there. You almost have a sense that Kansas just have to hope that they can stay patient. But in that case, it was Kansas State who stayed in the rally long enough to get the best swing.
Kansas won the first set 25-14, and Kansas State has turned this set around. Zelenovic finally overpowers the block.
Sam, that's the best look she's had in a while. And that's why I meant that point about stay patient until you get a quality look and then get your rip in, and that's what she did.
Kansas State has won 18 of the last 22 points to build this lead, and they now have set point behind the attack of Schmidt.
Another senior play where she might not have been in the ideal position running past the set to be able to take the swing. So what does she do? She wipes it off the block. Either way, it goes for a kill.
Legrand serving at set point. Zelenovic keeps Kansas alive for one more point. It remains set point Kansas State.
Another good look that Zelenovic was able to see. That's 2 in a row. So even if they don't win this set, can they ride that momentum here of the end of this second set into the third?
Zelenovic back to serve now. Off the net, ace. Ace number 18 for Zelenovic.
Say that she can score points in lots of different ways.
that is an understatement.
Absolutely.
Absolutely right. Serving, passing, attacking, blocking. Another good serve, another ace.
Oh, but that one had a different speed. And so here you are, you're down 10 points. Go ahead, let it rip. And let it rip, she did. That ball had a lot of heat with it.
2 aces in a row. 2 set points saved. Set point remains, and it will for a while for Kansas State. Unless they can score here. That's out. 4 straight points for Kansas.
I think this is huge for Kansas. Not that, again, might they come back? Sure. But at least it gives them some familiarity. Oh, yeah, that's what we look like when they take the break going into the third set.
Zelenovic again. This is an overpass. Patak missed it. And Kansas State hangs on to win the set. And we'll see if the Kansas momentum they were starting to build will carry over, or if Kansas State can carry over the momentum of winning this set. But we are tied at a set apiece in the 131st meeting between Kansas and Kansas State. Kansas took the first set 25-14, and then Kansas State just winning the second 25-17 here in Allen Fieldhouse. Let's go down to Madison Fitzpatrick with Matt Ullman.
Coach, a little bit of a lull in that second set. How do you want to see your team respond in this one?
Well, I thought in the first set we were very disciplined, following the game plan very well, gave them fits. But I thought I had a hard time scoring off of that. Second set, and then we got stuck in 6-1, and then we got frantic, and then we started going all over the place. So I'd like for us to settle down, get back into the game plan. Setting's got to get better, out of system and in system. Right now, we had a 7-point run where we didn't get a swing, so that's not gonna work very well.
How do you get back into a rhythm offensively?
Take a deep breath. I mean, we can adjust to some of the things that they're doing with their serve and just smaller touches. And then Dalton's got to be more aggressive setting, running her offense, and the hitter's got to be trusting it. So the trust is a little fractured, so we got to get it back.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, thank you.
Sam?
Thanks, Madison. So Matt Ulmer will talk to his team. We're tied at a set apiece. We go from the current head coach to the Hall of Fame retired coach. Ray Bouchard will join us when we come back to Lawrence. Historic night here in Allen Fieldhouse. The volleyball team is back on this floor for the first time since 2013. The match is tied at a set apiece, and before the match, Ray Bouchard was honored. It is alumni weekend, so a lot of his former players back to see him get honored. Ray retiring after last season, which is why Matt Ulmer is now the head coach, and Ray will be inducted into the AVCA Volleyball Hall of Fame coming up at the national semifinals, and he is sliding in next to me. Mary Wise has been blessing me with her presence the entire season, and I gotta say, I sort of goosebumps sitting with you guys. Before we bring you on camera, though, I want to take you back to a moment where you were on the same court as competitors, not as friends. And this was the NCAA tournament last year over in the Horace Family Volleyball Arena. And Mary Wise, that was your last win as a head coach, Mary, because you would retire after you lost in the next round of the tournament. Ray, that was your final match. But
I'm sorry.
but now you are the most tan man in Kansas.
Hey,
so
let me tell you what, that, as Mary would tell you, that was a great match. And, you know, if you had to go out a certain way, both teams played great. It felt like it was deeper than the second round, actually. And, you know, our team did everything we asked them to do, and Florida was great. So it was a heck of a match, heck of a night.
It was a great match, and you know, Ray, and I'm sure you feel the same way, if you have to go out to a first-team All-American having an All-American night.
Yeah.
That was Kennedy Martin with 33 kills.
Yeah, I remember.
I'm sure we have them. I got a bunch of them, too.
Yeah.
My season ended a lot more early on.
Yeah, that's right. But it was a great memory, obviously.
Well, Ray, we're going to be getting into the match in a moment, but I want people to hear you discuss your unique career, because you had no plans to be a volleyball coach.
Yeah, I thought I'd be happy being a high school basketball coach, and by chance, the superintendent of Little High School said, hey, could you help us out with volleyball? Which I did for 3 years, and I kind of get, as everybody does, once you get around it, you get pretty excited about it. And that led to a 13-year career at a community college, all of this in the state of Kansas, and then 27 years I was blessed to be the head coach here at the University of Kansas. So.
And this was your dream job, right?
My dream job. Turned down some other jobs, hoping this would happen. And what a cool event here tonight, huh?
Oh, the atmosphere. I think it's only appropriate that a basketball guy is at Kansas.
There we go.
That's perfect.
I think that might have had something to do with it. All right, we're underway. Third set. Ray's going to stay with us and help us break this match down. And Ray, Kansas, things got away from him there in the second set. What do you feel like the Jayhawks need to do?
I was just going to comment on how they play such complementary volleyball, offensively and defensively pretty steady. The pass and serve was solid. Then the wheels kind of came off there in the middle of the second set, but I'd be surprised if they didn't get things back together here real quick.
It's a good start for the Jayhawks, winning that opening point, this 3 out of 5 set match. Tied at a set apiece. Sims sends it back to Clinton, and Clinton is blocked by Papatz.
I think blocked by Papatz is something that was going to be said for a long time here in Lawrence, Kansas. Ray, have you seen many freshmen who do that as effortlessly as she makes it look?
She's got great eyes, feet are solid, and she coordinates eyes and feet together, and just got a really good sense for what's going to go on the other side.
That was her third block of the match. Clinton, a high-flying attack. Dalton blocked that one, but LeGrand keeps it alive. Schmidt with her back to the net, sends it. Swanson looking for hands. No hands. Point Kansas State.
This rotation 6 right here, there's an opportunity. I know they want to get the middle offense going a little bit more, right? Swanson's adequate carrying the load, but I know they want to be a little bit more balanced in this rotation.
Kind of need that pass.
Yes,
there it is.
Yep.
There's Swanson with a swing, and she does get the kill.
You can go away to the left side, no problem, when it's a perfect pass, because at least your middle has to think about it.
Correct.
And that's why that first contact. Do you think, Ray, you and I combined, how many times we might have said, got to take care of the pass in our careers?
People get tired of hearing it, but that first contact is mission critical if you want to get things done.
White keeps it alive, sets up the overpass. Clinton on the right side. Dalton with a nice dig, and Zelinovic trying to finish. Boy, Sims has been all over the place, 7 in white for Kansas State. There's Sims again. Nelson to Dalton. Zelinovic out of play.
That's how that great rally comes to an end. Both teams playing so hard defensively, but when you have a player like Zelinovic that you can throw that ball up there, she just, as we talked about earlier, her contact point is so high, she hits the ball so hard, she's a rally ender.
Nice short serve. Fox hitting through the block. Dalton to Nelson out of the back row. Good job by LeGrand to keep that alive. It's a free ball here for Kansas. Dalton, plenty of time. A quick set, and Schmidt is there for the stuff.
You know, you don't want those opportunities when you get the perfect pass, but you don't want to be too predictable as well, setting your middle in those situations. But Schmidt, obviously good size, good physicality in the middle. Boy, we're seeing great libero play tonight, aren't we? Yeah. On both sides of the net.
You mentioned the physicality of Schmidt. She is 6'6", number 18 for Kansas State.
She's probably the tallest person in the gym on most nights, but not tonight.
Yeah. Zelinovich is 6'7",
Yep.
number 9 in white for Kansas. Ace.
Ray, how many times have you seen players with that kind of serve so flat where they can locate that ball right between the front row hitter and the libero, go for an ace?
That seam right there is the one that people work on the most passing-wise, and the teams work on the most trying to serve to create some opportunities there. And that was exactly what you want.
Zelinovich goes line, did not give the touch, missed it wide, point Kansas State. Have you had much time to be able to spend with Zelinovich, Ray, at all?
I haven't, but she's sure been a lot of fun to watch.
Gosh, we were here, as you know, for 2 matches earlier this season, and she certainly caught our attention. She's box office gold. Myers hitting into that block. Nelson, nice up by Clinton, and now Myers pushes it into the block and comes away with a point.
Really heads up swing by her. We talked earlier about as big a block as you're going to see in the Big 12. And she comes in, that's the second kill that she's been able to use the block and score.
Ray, can you put into perspective what this rivalry is like within the state of Kansas?
Well, for me, it's a big deal. You know, and Missouri and Kansas are heated rivals for different reasons. But, you know, we're at K-State just an hour and 15 minutes down the road. And you know, we recruit the same, they recruit the same area. And there's a lot of familiarity with both programs. So, for me, it was the biggest match of the year.
And it's like double the amount because not only in-state, but you're in the same conference.
That's correct.
Does it just magnify
It does.
that?
It does. And, you know, K-State's kind of right in that middle 40 RPI right now, so this match certainly would be extremely significant for them. And then now the Jayhawks are thinking maybe we can be first-round host again, so they want to finish strong as well.
Kansas was not in the top 16 of the initial reveal, but the committee said they were considered, and now with a win over TCU earlier in the week, that RPI will get a nice bump when the new numbers come out. Myers with the kill, but Kansas, in volleyball, if you're a top 16 seed, it means you get to host first and second rounds. And Kansas was a top 16 seed last year. They're hoping to repeat that. This is the resume they have right now, but they're getting better and better. Again, they come in on a 5-match win streak, including a top 10 win over TCU on Friday.
So it's like both teams on the bubble. Kansas on the bubble to be a top 16
Correct.
seed.
Correct.
Kansas State on the bubble to make the tournament.
Yep.
And thus why there's so much riding on this match in the middle of your conference season.
6 Big 12 teams right now in the top 25 in the rankings. Nice block by Williams. Unfortunately for her, it goes out of bounds, and Patak blows it up.
Good choice by Katie Dalton, who would be somebody you would know, Ray.
Katie Dalton, I'm so happy for her. She's kind of fought through injuries the last 3-4 years. Competitive kid. She makes everybody around her just a little better by her competitive presence.
Dalton,
and it's good to see her out there running the show for the Jayhawks.
Dalton, number 7 for Kansas. The setter comes from a volleyball family. That's her with the dump. And Dalton gets the kill out of the middle. That is her 26th kill of the season.
Appreciate her killing that ball right as we were talking about
That's
her,
right.
bragging on her.
She knew it was happening. And yeah, she's got to be pretty competitive with the family she comes from. There's a lot of Division I athletes in that family, so
she's
been around it.
6th youngest of 7 children. Her sister Nicole played at Texas. Juliana played at Pitt.
Dare I mention that both sisters ended a Florida season at 2 different, one at Pitt and one at Texas. Not that we don't forget. I'm sure we forget eventually.
We eventually, hopefully,
Right.
we will.
Mary does not forget.
Okay.
Neither does Ray.
I can tell you that.
Neither does Ray.
Shaylee Myers back to serve. Kansas State within 1 in this pivotal 3rd set. Match tied at a set apiece. Nelson waits on it, hits into the block. Now Patak goes over the block. Clinton. Off hands, point Kansas State, and we're tied at 9.
And the great swing, because that's an inside set, meaning that ball is brought in. She got her feet to the floor. That's a heavy angle. And only the big jumpers with the big arms can hit that kind of ball.
We talked a lot about Myers, who was serving before the match, but it's Clinton who has the most kills in the match with 10. There's Myers. White setting Nelson. And that hits the antenna, point Kansas.
You know, that duo of Clinton and Myers, collectively, I think kills per set are right at the top of the Big 12, along with, I think, the duo from TCU. But those two got to be pretty good night in, night out for the Wildcats to be the team they want to be.
Yeah, they sure are. Clinton averaging 4 kills per set. Myers 5 kills per set. Kentucky is the only team in the nation with 2 players averaging over 4 kills per set. And back to serve now is number 13, Emerson Van Lannen. Redshirt freshman. Her cousin played for Kansas State. Oh boy! A hammer by Patak.
So Ray, when you were recruiting Patak, was she running the slide? Obviously she was running the slide much better. Now she's bigger, stronger, physical. But what was it that you saw in her high school days that
not only was she running the 1-foot attack behind, but she was doing the front slide as well, and we got really intrigued with that, and just the way she competes. Solid student athlete who's a fun to be with in the gym every day, and has become one of the better wide attackers, slide attackers, I think, in the country.
Big 12 freshman of the year last year. Clinton flies in the air. No touch, point Kansas. And for Clinton, just her 4th hitting error on 25 swings.
And what an advantage to have a middle who can go back and you can get on a service run. Sometimes with the middle, you're going to use an extra sub. They come off the front row and you want to go them right to the bench, but not with Reese Patak.
Serve it Sims. Oh, LeGrand winning that joust. Come on.
How many setters? All across the country, setters are winning those jousts just because they're probably putting that situation a ton in practice, but they seem to always have an edge when it comes to that joust.
And don't think they don't love it.
Yeah.
Winning those jousts.
They'll let you know.
Swanson off hands. White gonna set Swanson again. And this time she blows up the block for the Kansas point.
Okay, how about Swanson? We're going around the court, Ray. It's so fascinating what you saw in these players when you were recruiting them a few years ago.
Just an exceptional athlete from McPherson, Kansas. She had to wait her time. We had Caroline Bien, Aya El Nadi. We had good 6 rotation players, and she's done that. She's won a lot of matches for us her first 3 years, but now she's really taken an opportunity to take it to another level.
And when I hear you describe that scenario, Ray, it immediately makes me think she's a high character young person as well, to be willing to wait her time, which in today's world, you find very few of them that do.
It's getting more and more far between, so that's why it makes it really pleasing to see a kid who's waited her time and now is playing at a really high level and is a very functional and integral part of what her team is doing.
Sam, this is the rotation that Coach Ulmer talked about with Madison, row 1, where Kansas was having trouble side out. So, is this Zelinovich running behind and getting the ball?
Yep.
Here she comes. Ace, though. Oh, what a serve by number 5, and Aya Clinton. She's having a fantastic match that added ace to her stat total. 10 kills, 5 digs, a block, and now an ace.
And that's the seam you were talking about, Mary, that creates so much problem between primary passer and a DS.
Follows it up with a service error. Kansas hits 15, so we go to a timeout. A tight 3rd set here at Allen Fieldhouse.
Congratulations to Coach Ray Bouchard on a Hall of Fame career and being inducted into the AVCA Hall of Fame. That's a big deal. You deserve it. Now let's get a big win tonight.
That's a big deal, Ray.
That's a pretty big deal right there.
Well,
you talk about a guy who's won a lot of times in this place right there. I think there was a time where he had won more conference championships than he had lost games in here. And he's such a good fan of all the athletes and athletic programs here at Kansas. Boy, special guy.
Some of the national championship banners there. How close were you to the basketball program, being a basketball guy?
Yeah, well, my son's been on the staff since 2009, and I'm a big fan, and he's an easy guy to be a big fan of. And that was a big block.
That
Massive block.
was a big block.
So much fun to watch her play.
Yeah. Those two right there, they combine for they create a lot of problems for an outside attacker. And then you serve like that, bring the attacker short.
White with a nice dig. Sent over by Nelson. Schmidt unable to make contact. Point will go to Kansas. The Jayhawks trying to take a 2-1 lead.
And we've talked about how blocks can come in bunches, and that's just what's happened with Kansas. And those back-to-back blocks make it even more difficult for Kansas State to find kills.
Well, Ray, we talked a little bit about your past, but I would love for you to tell us what you're doing these days in retirement. Let us live through you a little bit. What's it like?
It's been really fun. We have 6 grandkids in the area, so that's a good place to start. And both our kids, they married well, so we really enjoy daughter-in-law and son-in-law. And me and my wife, actually, it's the first time in 40 years, as Mary can relate to, we have a fall where we can go do some things. Imagine that. So we followed KU football to Orlando, and then spent 3 days at Disney after that with some grandkids. We did a volleyball football weekend at Notre Dame, which we really enjoyed. And we're excited about Kansas basketball. Is going to be in Madison Square Garden. They're going to be in Vegas, so we'll do a little bit of that. And then I get to bebop around and watch a lot of volleyball. I've visited some high schools in the area, so go to bed every night with a pretty clear mind. Wake up and try to figure out what we're going to do next.
What a great answer.
If you think there's any of our colleagues around our age that are toying with the idea, should I retire, shouldn't I retire? If they're listening to you right now, I'm going to tell you what they've decided based on that answer.
Yeah, and you know, we had obviously Mary and then Kirsten up at Creighton and John at Nebraska. And it was a pretty big flurry of some Hall of Fame coaches. But it's fun to be around the sport when the pressure isn't there to always kind of control what you're doing on a daily basis.
Well, the pressure's on these teams right now here in the third set. Kansas up by 4. We're going to 25, win by 2. Match tied at a set apiece. Zelinovich to the corner, yes. And Madison, while we were talking, I know you were listening. What was Jason Mansfield saying?
Well, the message from Mansfield was pretty offensive focused. He said, I need you guys to stay aggressive. He repeated, attack, attack, attack. And then setter LeGrand, who's a vocal leader on this team, he told us, made good eye contact with all of her teammates, high-fived all of them and said, we're still in this.
Meyer sits into the block, tools at point Kansas State. They are still in it. Coach Mansfield, he and Matt Ulmer, very good friends, both coming from the West Coast. Jason was on the staff at Stanford, Illinois, Washington. And Nelson.
That ball might have got out there just a little quick, but Grace made the right choice there, using the block, wiping that ball off the block. And you mentioned Jason. I'm really impressed with what he's doing here. His roster, he kept his roster when he inherited. He's developing his roster, and some of these kids have been on his roster now 2-3 years, and you're seeing some of the results of that.
Ace. That is one thing Kansas has done very well tonight. Serve aces. That is the 7th ace of the match for Kansas, and it prompts Kansas State to take a timeout. So Ray, right now, You're up 20-14 in this set. What would your message be to the team?
My message would be, hey, I don't know if we're going to win this set, but we got to start playing better because there's going to be another set after this, right? So let's just focus on some little things, start playing better. Don't worry about the scoreboard right now. Are we connected? Are we playing better? Are we doing the things we talked about in the game plan? And maybe there'll be some momentum shift at the end of this set that if it doesn't work out this set, maybe it can carry over into the next set.
And Mary, Kansas State.
For Kansas State, it's not like they've been playing poorly. They are playing so hard, so well. They're just having a harder time finding kills. But let's give credit to the Kansas serve and block. And that's been the difference in this set. As well as Kansas looks behind the service line, then they're blocking, doing what they do. They block the mistakes, and that's when those points come in bunches.
You know, that physicality, Mary, just kind of wears on you as the match goes on. And it might not initially look like it's an issue early on, but they just keep getting in front of you, and it can fatigue you emotionally, mentally, all the way around.
It's so hard to find kills. Oh, yeah, and when you've got great backcourt defenders, so now you can hit it past the block, be fortunate enough to work that hard to get it past the block, and then you've got three big-time defenders, especially in this rotation. It's really hard to find points. So where you're going to look for, can you use a block? Can you get that ball off the blocker's hands and into the stands?
It is Ryan White back to serve. Kansas trying to close out this set. Myers hits into the block. Good job. Here's Zelinovic. Zelinovic looking for hands, did not hit hands, and the point to Kansas State.
The smile on her face.
I mean, she's got such a good demeanor about her. I'm pretty sure the next contact will be a little bit more functional than that one, but she's got a great demeanor about her.
Yeah, we did notice the last time we were here, she seems to play with so much joy. And Zelinovic coming over from Serbia came late. And this is really her first experience in the United States. And coming from playing international volleyball to Division I, Ray, what's always a big challenge for the international athletes?
Yeah, I mean, just getting comfortable with the new scenery, the new environment. Like that jump serve as well.
Yeah.
But volleyball's volleyball wherever. And she obviously has played at a very high level. That's a great tip.
Oh, what a shot. Absolutely perfectly placed by Patak.
Reese has killed balls angle, line, and now she's throwing a ball deep. That, we say, is that high IQ volleyball player that you identified in high school, Sam. Well done.
Ray.
Ray, sorry. I'm going to give the credit to Ray.
I wish you could give me the credit. Ray would have appreciated that. Ace Zelinovic. Ace number 8, but for Zelinovic, that is her third ace of the match.
What the great players do, they're going to find ways to beat you in different ways.
That is a beautiful serve. And Zelinovic, that drifts over the tape. Sims keeps it alive, and Myers makes the most of it to side out for Kansas State. Keep in mind, Myers averages 5 kills per set. That was her 8th of the match, so she's due.
And that didn't come easy. That ball off the net. She had to work so hard to get a quality swing.
Good serve by Myers. Off the slide, Patak sets up the overpass for Nelson. Clinton goes to the corner. Swiped it wide, and it is set point Kansas.
Ray, this is that piece. You can almost feel the grind that Kansas State is feeling. You talked about it. It's when that block is so big, when the back row defense is so good.
And, you know, and then Clinton and Myers, there just comes a time where they got to be so good for so long. It's tough to maintain that and sustain it against a team defensively like Kansas.
Kansas State stays alive in the set. Jordan Williams keeps them in at 1 more point. And in to serve now Van Lannen. Dalton, plenty of time. Set Swanson. Clinton.
Good swing.
Got high hands. Point Kansas State.
There's a point where the set may be too far off the net where it becomes really difficult to swing high hands. But she took something off. She managed it. She aimed for the high hands and got the point.
Still set point Kansas. Swanson. Kept alive. Pond sends it. Attack. Good job again by Pond. Dalton takes it over. Pond with a diving dig. Swanson trying to win the set. And does. So the Jayhawks win the third set and take a 2-1 lead. And what a moment for our audience to have you two talking about a volleyball match at the same time. Such a unique perspective. Ray, if we kept you any longer, I'm afraid we'd have to pay you. So we're going to let you go, but thank you so much for coming by.
Great to have you guys here in Lawrence, Kansas. What a cool environment tonight, right? And that's where our sport's heading all across the country, in venues like this, with crowds like this. And we got great people calling the action and getting people excited about it. So thanks for all you guys are doing.
Well, you passed your audition, Ray. Good job.
All the best to you guys.
Ray Bouchard saying so long. Kansas up 2-1. Kansas up 2-1 in the 131st meeting between these two schools. And a reminder, more big-time volleyball comes your way Sunday over on ESPN, as we'll start in the SEC with Arkansas and Florida in Fayetteville, Arkansas. And then the North Carolina Tar Heels will be in Louisville to take on the Louisville Cardinals. Again, both of those matches on ESPN and on the all-new ESPN app. Sunday afternoon. Jovana Zelinovic, Mary, starting to turn it up.
Speaking of big time, Her best swing, I think, is these line shots. So she gets 2 there. Set leads her inside. She kills the ball angle. Oh, yeah. And she's blocking for points, serving for points. Folks, we are watching one of the best freshmen in the country, and I am so glad we are here to witness.
And not only are we seeing her, but we talked about this a little bit earlier, Mary, just how difficult Kansas is to scout because of, you never know who's going to beat you. Look at these numbers.
And that's what the really good teams are. They're hard to guard. For you, the basketball fan, that's the language I'm using, hard to guard.
And Madison, I know you were listening in on the Kansas State huddle in between those sets.
And Coach Mansfield was saying, stay with it, don't think so much, we're in our heads. He said we have to play for everything, and then he said their motto this season, which is together. But guys, I gotta say, it is hard to hear him. It's hard for his players to hear him. The atmosphere is so electric and loud in here.
Well, no one's gone anywhere here in Allen Fieldhouse. First time they've played here since 2013. And Patak with another kill.
Sam, when you have these type of events, you know, it's obviously the coaches have to be on board, but there's so many people in your athletic department that have to almost work double time when it's not your regular home facility to put on a match like this. So credit Kansas athletic department for saying yes and making this happen.
Well, this was a gamble for Matt Ulmer. He recognized that. He wanted to try it out and see if the Kansas volleyball fans would come to Allen Fieldhouse. They normally play next door in the Horish Family Volleyball Arena. And I think he's got his answer, Mary. They did show up. And a big weekend here in Lawrence as Kansas State is the opponent in baseball, volleyball, and football. Swanson off the block. This is the 4th set. Kansas up 2-1. Kansas can win the match if they win this set. It's a must-win set for Kansas State. Myers, nice shot.
Oh, I am so impressed with how hard Shaylee Myers is working. Where obviously she's the highlight on the scouting report. And the kills haven't come easy, but look at her effort. And that's what all volleyball players need to learn. We love killing balls, but in the nights where it's hard, you can impact the match in so many different ways as she's doing for Kansas State.
Well, just to further that theme, Mary, she has 12 digs tonight. So Myers with 9 kills, 12 digs, 2 assists, 2 blocks. And coach said she's like Steph Curry. She comes in by herself and sets up the gym for individual workouts. Patak back to serve. We're tied at 3 here in the 4th set. And Patak, that ball looked like we were at altitude, Mary. It didn't come down.
So that's what happens sometimes when we hit under the ball. It floats and floats by.
Patak having a fantastic match as well, including an ace earlier. Dalton to Nelson. LeGrand settles under it, fires it out to Myers. Swanson, it's straight down, good block. White keeps it up. Nelson sends it over. Kansas State players collide. Clinton collided with her teammate Hahn, and both were, especially Clinton, a little shaken up, but seem to be okay now.
Can't fault the effort. 2 players going all out. I'm glad to see. So grateful that both jumped up to continue play.
Yeah, Clinton leading the match in kills with 11. Setter tried to take it over. Zelenovic just absolutely unloads.
Sam, did you see an approach there? Yeah, me neither. She just, Giovanna, what she can do, this ball off the setter's arms, she gathers. What I mean by an approach, just 1-2, and she's in the air and swinging.
I love how you ask me questions and don't let me answer.
Yeah, ask the players. I used to do that all the time.
And for Zelenovic, she's the first Jayhawk in double figures. That's her 10th kill. 7th service error, though, by Kansas. And Kansas State ties it at 5. Myers with a serve. Swanson, cross court, too sharp. point, Kansas State.
And for Kansas State, the easiest way to draw even in this match is taking advantage of any of the unforced errors that Kansas might make. And so far this set, they've had 4.
Dalton off hands, now will swing again to the corner. A nice second effort by Swanson.
I love how easy she gets off the floor.
Yeah.
She just elevates, and it's just such a fluid type athlete.
And Swanson now with her 10th kill. So Swanson and Zelinovich both with 10 for Kansas. Clinton has 11 for Kansas State. The only 3 players in the match in double digits in kills. And Clinton asking for a touch. And we're going to have a challenge. Kansas State was adamant it was touch. The official said no touch, and we've got our first challenge of the match.
K-State is challenging that there was a block touch.
So again, both teams get 2 challenges to use over the first 4 sets. If we get to a 5th set, you get an additional one. If you lose the call that you're challenging, you lose the challenge. Let's see if there was a touch here. That is Clinton attacking. She went sharp, and now did the ball.
Are they calling, did the ball graze?
I don't think it hit Zelinovich, who's in front of her, but it may have grazed Nelson.
Yes.
Number 1, that's the player on the right side of your screen for Kansas.
Well, that ball was coming fast. Clinton got all of it.
And this is the first challenge of the match.
I love it when we don't see a challenge until the 4th set.
Yeah. So there's Nelson, 1 in white. Doesn't hit her hand as it goes by.
Did she get that hand up fast enough?
Yeah, no, because the call was called no touch, they have to clearly see this to overturn it, or else they will
After
not.
the review, it was confirmed, no touch. K-State loses their challenge.
So Kansas State now with 1 challenge remaining, unless we were to get to a 5th set. But more importantly, Kansas retains that point and leads 7-6.
You did say earlier that Grace Nelson probably was great at dodgeball.
Yeah, I did. That's right. Showed it again. Thanks for backing me up. Dalton to Zelinovich. Cross-court attack. There's that variety in IQ.
That's the one that you just not going to see that very often. But it's going to take a player 6'6" who can get that ball at that height and control it to be able to find that sharpened angle on an off-speed shot.
Yeah, that's what's so fun for me watching her play. She hits so many shots you just don't see a lot of in Division I volleyball. And Zelinovich, just a freshman from Serbia. And she scores in every aspect of the game, not just her power hitting as a 6'1", or excuse me, a 6'7" attacker. Bell, the float serve. Back row Myers, kept alive by Dalton. And Zelinovich, she's getting in the zone, Mary.
Yes, she is. You know, can we call this shot the Z shot, where she rotates her shoulders, goes thumb down, and hits the ball off the block?
And then the heart sign to someone across the net. That was the other thing we loved watching her. So she plays with a lot of joy and a lot of swag. Nice response by Kansas State. LeGrand, the setter, taking it over.
LeGrand's fun to watch. She plays with a high level of volleyball IQ. You can tell she's been around the game a lot, as Madison told us earlier in this match. It's exactly what you want in your quarterback.
She has her 9th double-double tonight, 19 assists, 12 digs. Service error gives Kansas the point. kills. And now Ryan White back to serve, getting her master's in sports management, eventually wants to go into coaching. Matt Ulmer mentoring her in coaching right now. Clinton looking for hands, didn't get any. Point Kansas.
Now you almost have a sense with that swing, the Clinton swing earlier that went just wide, is that, but this is what happens when you've got such a big block in front of you. You begin to feel like you've got to hit shots that just to avoid the block, and then you run out of real estate on the court.
Clinton able to hit through that block, and she's done that with consistent success tonight. Clinton's had a fantastic match. She's been the most impactful offensive player for Kansas State. Nelson with the serve receives Zelinovich, making it look easy.
Make it look easy, then laugh. But you know, that all started by the pass by Grace Nelson. So got the pass, and then when a player like Zelinovich has that much of a hole in the block, it's like the court doubles for her. She has so many shots that she scores with.
She's had 3 aces tonight. Now she serves again. LeGrand setting Clinton, and Clinton scores again for the Wildcats, getting Zelinovich off that service line.
That's the fast offense we talked about earlier, meaning the speed of the ball from the setter to the hitter. When you've got a dynamic athlete like Clinton, she was able to get her feet to the ball and then swings fast. The block just hadn't formed yet.
Dalton setting Bell out of the back row. Fox keeps it alive. And a kill for Shaylee Myers on the left side. Oh, no, excuse me, that went out eventually, and it fell over on Kansas State's side, so the point is Kansas.
Eventually is right. It traveled along the net a long ways.
Myers into the net. So Kansas up 15-9. Trying to win this in 4 sets. Jovana Zelinovich is dominating this 4th set, playing with so much love. Well, the last time Kansas played in the Fieldhouse, it was in the NCAA tournament. In the second round, they beat Creighton 3-1 and went to the regionals. And again, they played 3 matches in here that season. But that win against Creighton was the last time they played until tonight. And our attendance tonight, 7,550, which is the second highest attended volleyball match here in Allen Fieldhouse. They set the record back in the mid-90s against Missouri. But that is an excellent crowd. Their typical gym holds about 5,000. So I think Matt Ulmer's test, they passed the volleyball fans here at Kansas.
The Jayhawks showed up in a big way. And this match was worthy of this type of venue. Volleyball has found its way to earn events, and tonight is one.
Kansas up 5 here in the 4th set, leading 2-1. Kansas State's got to get going. A nice save by McCarthy. And K-State gets the point. Madison, I know you were listening in on the huddle at the timeout.
And the huddle made me think of talking with Mansfield on his fast offense before this game. He said, we run the fast offense because we look to get more seams that way, and it made Shailene more dynamic. It fits them, and that's what they were talking about in the huddle. He said, we need to get our offense going back fast. We got to get it to the tempo and quicken it up.
Oh, Patak off the slide.
Speaking of fast, it's a fast slide. And this one, it's not even a complete wide all the way to the antenna. Reese Patak's ability to cut that ball off, to go line, to go sharp angle, to throw the ball deep. She's hard to defend.
Patak up to 8 kills. She serves now, goes line to Clinton. Myers. McCarthy calls everybody off. Swanson swats it out of bounds. Point Kansas State. And remember, right now, Zelinovich off the floor for Kansas, and this is a time for Kansas State to try to score points, take advantage of it.
One more rotation, and then she comes back, and they go on a service run.
LeGrand to Myers. Myers over the block. Good job by the Jayhawks. Free ball here for the Wildcats. Papatz was ready for that LeGrand attack. Swanson. Back row Clinton. And Clinton got a touch. Point Wildcats.
There's one. But look how hard Kansas State had to work to get that point.
Well, they are within 3 now, with Zelinovich off the floor for Kansas. Papatz off the slide. Oh, nice save by Pond, almost into the bench. Swanson. Swanson again. Nice dig by Sims. Nelson setting Dalton, the setter. And Dalton stuffed by Williams. Williams was not fooled.
Jordan Williams played so hard through that long rally. We asked so much of the middles, but she went from antenna, read that dump right there to get that stuff blocked. Huge point for Kansas State at this point in the set.
Well, let's take a look at our Saturday SEC on ABC college football tripleheader. Number 8 Ole Miss and number 13 Oklahoma start the day at noon Eastern. Then 4th ranked Alabama will take on South Carolina, and we'll cap the day with LSU hosting 3rd ranked Texas A&M. Each game also available on the all-new ESPN app. Back here in Kansas, a passionate Matt Ulmer talking to his team right now, and it's 16-14 in the 4th, Mary, but when you look at the overall stats in this match, this is a very even match right now.
It really is, and let's give Kansas State a whole lot of credit to come into this venue with this many fans, and you're playing your arch rival, and they have played so hard. I think this is a match, again, if it ended right now, that they can build on for the back half of the Big 12. And the good news is, but the match isn't over, and they're only down 2 points.
All right, Madison, give us the Kansas perspective during that timeout.
Coach Ulmer spoke with a whole lot of urgency, and a lot of it was directed towards Swanson and Dalton. He's telling his outside hitter Swanson, swing high off the hands if you have to tip, be smart. And then he told the setter, get her out there. The ball's dying just a bit. So he's really trying to get that setter-hitter connection going between Dalton and Swanson.
Yeah, Zelinovic still off the court for Kansas. Kansas State making the most of it. They're within 2 now. Swanson does attack. Myers. Swanson again into that block. Good job by the setter, LeGrand. Myers goes cross court and just missed it wide. Point Jayhawks.
She was close, though.
Yeah. And Zelinovic now rotates back in for the Jayhawks. Zelinovic has been dominant in this 4th set. But Kansas holds the lead with her out. LeGrand to Williams off the slide, and Williams terminates.
You're going to see it, you see in this replay where Swanson as the left side blocker starts cheating out and gets too far. She goes too far to her left. Williams cuts that ball off and finds that hole in the block for the kill.
Dalton back to Zelinovic. Yes. Deja vu.
Do you think there might have been a message from Coach Ulmer to the setter, Katie Dalton? It's Zelinovic time. Let's not let her get through the front row without getting multiple looks.
And he told us today when we talked to him that he wants them to set Zelinovic even more. She's had 34 attempts tonight. Myers out of the back row, and Logan Bell had to do some good dodgeball moving there as well to get out of the way of that attack. Wow. Timeout Kansas State after Myers missed that attack. And Kansas State running out of time with the Jayhawks up 19-15 now here in the 4th set. And while we have a pause in this match, we'll give you something to look forward to Sunday in the world of volleyball. Over on ESPN, Mary Wise's former team, the Florida Gators, will be in Fayetteville, Arkansas, taking on the Razorbacks at 1 Eastern. And then an ACC top 25 matchup between Louisville and North Carolina. You can always watch both of them on the all-new ESPN app. A big opportunity for the Tar Heels to try to get a resume-boosting win, as they also in the conversation for a top 16 seed. Of course, Louisville firmly a top 16 seed right now.
And this is the point in the season where every match becomes so magnifies in its importance. Whether you're trying to make the tournament, whether you're trying to be a top 16 seed, a top 4 seed, and it just means more. Have you ever heard that before?
I have.
Some people say that.
Yeah, it's a slogan. What a great night to watch volleyball, and this matchup has delivered. And for Kansas State, they are looking for their first win here in Lawrence since 2020. Remember, not even Kansas has played in Allen since 2013. And the Jayhawks looking for their 9th straight against Kansas State and their 6th match win overall. Williams off the slide. White did a great job to save that. Nelson hits into the block. LeGrand sets Clinton, and Clinton terminates.
But how hard did Kansas State have to work for that? But a reset button, and there's that seam in the block. And Clinton got her feet there and just ripped it. I keep saying got her feet there because that's a piece that a lot of young hitters don't understand. They expect that ball to come to them. As a hitter, you got to go get that ball. Once it's left the setter's hands, it's on you, hitter.
No touch, point Kansas State. Nelson's attack long. Kansas State within 2. They must win this set to keep the match going. Remember, Kansas has already played 7 5-set matches this season. Zelinovic. Clinton Kept alive by Dalton. Nelson will attack. Out of play, Nelson with a kill.
I think that's the swing that Coach Ulmer talked about for Grace Nelson, that she may not power the ball, but she has to be crafty. And on a high ball set by the libero, she takes a really smart swing to get that kill.
Kansas in the volleyball version of the red zone, hitting the 20-point mark first. We're going to 25, win by 2. Kansas wins the set, the match is over. Oh, Clinton just crushed that. And eventually LeGrand finishes it off. But the power of the Clinton attack really made that easy for her on the right pin.
You bring the heat. It makes it tough for those defenders. And watch as this rally goes on. Don't you just love it when a setter can get an overpass and be able to take a swing?
Zelinovich powers through the block. That is kill number 15.
Sam said it before, but when right-handed hitters on the right side and a ball is set inside, most humans are gonna hit angle. But it's not Zelinovich. Oh, she can hit angle, but her ability to turn it and go line is uncanny.
Oh, that's a great catch. Some miscommunication there between Dalton and Patak. So an unforced error gives Kansas State the point, and the Wildcats within 2 in a must-win set for Kansas State.
Just being the hang-around team is Kansas State trying to do. Hang around, see if you can steal it when you get close to 25.
This has been the closest set of the match, and an ace makes it even closer by Anaya Clinton. Second ace of the match for the red shirt junior from Midland, Texas. Team ace number 5. Dalton setting Nelson. Nice up by LeGrand. Myers sends it over. And Myers gets the kill. Logan Bell unable to get under it. And we are tied at 21. A must-win set for Kansas State. We're tied. You're watching the Big 12 on ESPN. The Big 12 right now with 6 ranked teams in the top 25. And we are getting to the end of this 4th and what could be final set. We're tied at 21. Kansas trying to get the win in 4 sets. Clinton has been the big star there, number 5 in purple for Kansas State. Zelinovich has been the big star for Kansas. And Madison, you were doing some huddle listening, I assume.
Matt Ulmer, understandably, extremely urgent. He said, you got to step up. You've got to want this. Let's challenge the block. Now is not the time to get timid. He said they're not going away, just like that serve right there, like that service pressure. He said they're not going away. We have to fight back.
2 aces in this service run for Clinton. And now the Wildcats have won 4 points in a row to take the lead. And a service error ties it at 22. Remember, Zelinovich is off the floor now for Kansas.
Kansas has 2 more rotations before she comes to the front row, if they're going to get there.
LeGrand, tight set. Myers puts it down.
That's the fast offense. It was a tight pass. LeGrand delivers it. And then that way, Shaylee Myers got a great look. And she terminated.
Myers with 12 kills, 14 digs. Sims to serve. Swanson tips over the block. LeGrand putting out of the back row. White setting Swanson. And Myers gives Kansas State set point.
Heating up right at the most opportune time is Myers. But look at how good this set is, and brings her inside. Middle can't close, and the hitter does her job.
Serve goes out. Kansas is still in the set, but Kansas State will have another set point here. And a timeout taken. Kansas will be serving after the timeout, trailing by a point, and it is a set point for Kansas State to try to push us into a final set. And so what might this conversation be with your assistant, Mary?
Well, they're going to have in terms of what should we run here. We may be talking about, they've done the scouting on the servers, and it's Patak's server. She's a very good server. But where might we find a kill? And some coaches will be very deliberate. We want to see you run this, this, and this with the pass. But you also have to put in, if we don't get a first swing kill, look for what Kansas might do in transition. They're right here. They're 1 point away from taking this to 5. That would be part of the message.
And a question, Mary, if you're Kansas, as a head coach and you know you're coming out to serve down set point, did you ever talk to the server at all?
Well, it depends on the server, and that's where you have to have a feel for it. If it's a freshman, I might not even look at her, let alone talk to her. Or I might have already done the sub. But it's about knowing what that server, what she needs. Sometimes it's just a look. But Patek, she loves to serve. She's a really good server. And this is a good blocking lineup at the net for Kansas.
Set point, Kansas State. Kansas serving. Specifically, Reese Patak. LeGrand with the set. Myers ends the set, and we are going 5. It seems only fitting that this rivalry, the 113th match between them, would take a 5th set to determine the winner. We go to 15, win by 2, when we come back to Allen Fieldhouse in Lawrence.
This is an amazing scene.
This is a huge stage for anybody.
Legacy.
Make room in the trophy case.
We only play to win, so we taking it home. Sweat.
Well, the national semifinals here in Kansas beginning December 18th. Right now we're heading into a 5th set, and in that 4th set, Mary, Anaya Clinton and Shaylee Myers really took over.
They are the 1-2 punch in any combination that Kansas State has. Early on, it was Clinton getting kills left side, right side. But there at the end of that set, it was Myers who got untracked. And so we knew going in that for Kansas State to be successful, those two are going to have to be the big point scorers. Of the 45 kills by Kansas State, those two account for 29 of them. I think they're doing their job.
Zelinovich and Swanson, the leading attackers for Kansas. And speaking of Kansas, what did Matt Ulmer tell his team, Madison?
Matt Ulmer told his offense, you need to put your head down and work. And then, Mary, you can expand on this a little bit. He said we need to defend the 3-go better. That last offensive play that K-State ran, he said, middles, you got to get there and close, but really emphasizing blocking that 3-go play of K-State.
It's one of the hardest things to defend, not just by the middles, but the right side, is when the middle goes away towards the left front, and you gotta, and you're trying to block both, and it's the speed of Kansas State's, it's very difficult.
Again, we go to 15, win by 2 to determine the winners. Zelinovich with the first swing. Myers could not get out of the way. Point Kansas.
No surprise how Kansas is going to start. They start in what we call row 2. That puts Zelinovich middle front. So you got 2 rotations before she goes to the bench.
Zelinovich, number 9 in white, if you're just joining us, one of the most dominant players in the country. 6'7" Serbian. Legrand denied on the attack by Patak. Good dig by Ryan White. There's Zelinovich again. Myers out of the back row. White will set Zelinovich, had a lot of options. Good D by Myers. Zelinovich with a set. And Legrand puts it away for Kansas State.
We're going to look at Legrand's line at the end of this match and see, obviously she's going to lead her team in assists, but she's second in dig. She has 5 kills. She has 4 blocks. The senior has come to play.
And she serves now. Attack out of the middle. That bump goes out. 2-1 Kansas. And Zelinovich will go back to serve. Something that Matt Ulmer is very happy about. Zelinovich, 3 aces tonight to go along with her 16 kills and 4 blocks. Oh, Clinton again with a timely kill.
Myers with the great pass off of Zelinovich's jump topspin serve. Oh, I wish we had a gun on that, a radar gun, to know just how fast that was. Perfect pass, the reverse, finds the seam of the block, Clinton delivers.
Zelinovich rotated out. Attack off the slide. Myers blocked. Myers again goes line. Dug up by McCarthy. Here's Nelson. Back row, Clinton comes in. Dalton dumps. A kill for the setter, Katie Dalton.
That time, Katie Dalton got on top of the ball, meaning that when she jumped, she went high, and that ball goes down in a hurry.
Second kill of the match for Dalton. Both setters active in their attacking tonight. Legrand. Patak's block goes out of bounds. Point Kansas State.
But that was that 3 to go that Madison talked about earlier that's so hard to defend. That time Kansas State set the three. So they've set that left side, and then they come back to the middle. See how it's giving Kansas fits.
Dalton takes it over again. Sims is there to save it. Attack, tips it. Myers goes line. Good job by Molly McCarthy. Swanson, her 52nd swing. Ryan White with a dig. And then Nelson. White sends it. And Williams finally ends that rally. Good stuff on both sides.
It really was. Oh, let them play all night. The quality defense on both sides leads to that dig, leads to the set, and again, that 3-ball kill by Kansas State.
And another Kansas State ace to put them up 5-3. Sims with the ace. Two aces tonight for Sims. And Patako's line missed it. And suddenly Kansas State has doubled up the score, which when you're going to 15, win by 2, this is a much bigger deficit than in the traditional first 4 sets.
You have a sense that that you can almost feel it on Kansas wearing the pressure. And then we talked earlier that Kansas State felt the pressure because of Kansas's defense. Well, now the pressure has been created with Kansas State's offense. That quick ball to either to the middle or to the left side hitter, that's giving Kansas's middles and right sides fits. And that's why we're in this position where K-State's up 6-3.
Well, we want to remind you of our Saturday SEC on ABC College Football tripleheader tomorrow. Ole Miss at Oklahoma beginning at noon, followed by Alabama at South Carolina. Texas A&M will be at LSU for the nightcap. Again, all those games on ABC as well as the all-new ESPN app. And again, Mary, when Zelinovich is not on the floor, Kansas has not been able to get kills as consistently.
Yeah, you think early in this match, it was Swanson who was finding kills at a high clip on the left side. But as the match has gone on, those have been harder to come by. Why? Credit the defense by Kansas State. And so what happens, we talk about when balls that you're used to getting kills with don't go as kills, you get a little impatient. And you almost feel like that has been the case with Kansas at some times late here in the match.
So, Madison, what did you hear from the Kansas timeout?
Coach Ulmer basically told his players that they're afraid to lose. They're playing scared to lose. He said, you're afraid to challenge the block. You're afraid to swing with intentionality. He said, what's the worst that can happen? We lose? Okay, well, then we need to lose going down, playing our way.
Swanson's attack is out of bounds. That was the 53rd swing for Swanson. And we will have a challenge on that attack.
Kansas is challenging a block on the touch.
Or a touch on the block. Either way, we are challenging it. Might there be or might not? It's possible that Coach Ulmer is just using this as a second timeout. He just called one. He may not want to call 2 back-to-back, but by using the challenge, he's coaching up his team in a big way right now.
And he had his full complement of challenges coming into this 5th set. Again, Kansas has won 5 matches in a row, including a top 10 win on Friday.
Sam, have you seen this before, whether it's in volleyball or other sports, where the hanger-oner team just hang around long enough that the home team, the favored team, may feel the pressure?
Absolutely. So Swanson attacking. Kansas is challenging whether there was a touch there. No touch was called originally.
After the review, the call stands. Kansas loses the challenge.
But to your point, Mary, Matt Ulmer was able to talk to his team during that challenge. See if Kansas State can keep it going. Sims with a service error after the challenge. Fans are still going wild after every point in here. What a great atmosphere. Zelinovich still out, hasn't rotated back in. Patak serving. And a service error on Patak gives the point to Kansas State. They will change ends with the Wildcats up 8-4.
This is rotation 6. The setter for Kansas right front. You have your blocking middle, meaning she's not always your most first choice offensively. So how are you going to get a kill here? Is it going to go to Swanson, who's had a hard time finding kills? I love this game. This is the chess match.
She is next to Papats on that Kansas front line. Pond with a serve. Good serve. White sends it to the net. Swanson attacks. And there's the kill for Swanson. Her 11th, but it's been a while.
But the best thing about that is that set was not off the net. Actually, that set would have been too tight for many of us, but she's such a great jumper.
Yeah.
And she sprinted to that ball. And look who's rotated to the front row.
Zelinovich back in, number 9 for Kansas in White. Williams denied by Ryan White. Clinton, point Kansas.
Expect we might see a quick timeout here soon by K-State. The crowd is into it. You just don't want them to get louder and louder on a service run.
Jayhawks within 2. LeGrand sets Myers. Good job by Papats to keep that going. Swanson. Myers into the block. And the roof prompts a timeout called by Kansas State. Worth more than one look, Mary.
Well, it was a tight set, and then on a tight set, block has the advantage. And these two blockers, they don't need much to have an advantage. But Zelinovich, she gets her hand so far over, she takes the ball out of the hitter's hand. There's no room between the point of contact by the hitter and the block. That's what it's supposed to look like, Sam.
Well, Zelinovich, a 6'7" freshman from Serbia. Her reputation was so big coming into Kansas without ever having played a match. She was selected to the preseason All-Big 12 team.
That's quite the reputation.
One of the top players in Europe, that Matt Ulmer was blessed to have come here to Kansas. And not only is she a dominant player, but she's just fun to watch, has so much personality on this court. And with her on the floor, there's been a measurable difference in Kansas tonight.
It really is. And I don't think, and Coach Ulmer mentioned it, that they haven't gotten her the best look. She's had to get many of these kills on her own work. Can Kansas find a little rhythm here with their first and second contact and ride her arm here?
And Madison, what was the message in the K-State huddle?
The message is about this point right here, a quick side out. He was reminding his attackers to swing high and reminding LeGrand to put her attackers in the best position to score.
Myers goes over the block. And a busted play. 4 contacts.
Such a heady off-speed shot by Myers. That ball was tipped so close to the block. Sometimes young players tip deep, make it easy. Not the senior, not tonight.
Myers with the serve. Dalton to Zelinovic, and Zelinovic is blocked. Williams and Clinton combine and then celebrate.
The timing on this block. They had a pretty good idea where the ball's going, but they lined it up. They didn't overrun it.
We are going to 15, win by 2 to win the match. Zelinovic sends it over. LeGrand with options. Myers out of the back row. Bell blocked again. Williams gets that one. Timeout, Kansas. So after Kansas was on a 3-0 run, Kansas State has come back with its own 3-0 run and now up 4.
But neither look by Zelinovic. It wasn't ones where she could take the swing out of it, so that now you're asking your block, okay, block the mistakes, ball off the net, ball tight. That's exactly what K-State is doing. All the work that we ask of middles, and Jordan Williams, she has worked so hard from antenna to antenna. Her number is going to bear this out. She's a big reason why K-State is right here on the verge of this 5th set win.
They have not won at Kansas since 2020. Jayhawks have won the last 9. Remember, this is Allen Fieldhouse we're playing in tonight. They haven't played here since 2013. So all of those Kansas wins have been over in the Horace Family Volleyball Arena. And Jayhawk fans looking a little concerned right now.
So Sam, I almost feel like Kansas misses that student section that in the regular facility is so close to the court. They're a little bit more spread out. It's a basketball venue, and perhaps the student section just being far enough away kind of helps Kansas State out.
Madison, what did you hear in the Kansas timeout?
Well, Omar was reminding his team about being down in games past. He said, you'll be fine. We were down against TCU and we beat them. So just calm down. You'll be fine. And then he looked at Zelinovic and just said, keep swinging. Just keep swinging.
Shaylee Myers back to serve. Kansas State 4 points from the win. Dalton back setting Zelinovic. Clinton kept it alive. Myers, that was a little off, but she made the most of it. Point Kansas State. Shaylee Myers scoring out of system.
It was a ball very similar that she hit long early on. But a senior, you're going to learn through it as a match goes. She took something off of it. Not only avoided the error, but got the kill.
Myers serves. Dalton, quick set to the pin, Swanson. Clinton blocked. LeGrand takes it over. Ryan White with a dig. Clinton goes over the block. Zelinovic pushes it. LeGrand takes it over. A 5-0 run for the Wildcats, and they are 2 points from the upset.
This rotation, we talked about it before, Kansas in row 1 here. So notice where Zelinovic is. Number 9, she has to run all the way around the passers. So the pass has to be high enough. Give her a chance to get hitting position.
Big point here. Dalton setting Zelinovic. Myers dives to save it. Clinton bumps it over. Dalton goes out to Bell. And Bell with a much-needed side out for the Jayhawks.
The DS makes the sub. Comes in, plays front row, 1 rotation, and gets the kill.
She can play on the back row or as an outside for them. And Bell back to serve, the freshman from Indiana. Grand setting Williams. And Williams gives Kansas State match point. Again, they've lost 8 straight to the Jayhawks. Van Lanen to serve. Zelinovic missed it, and Kansas State gets the win in Allen Fieldhouse. Two great friends these two head coaches embrace after a hard-fought 5-setter. Kansas State coming from 2 sets to 1 down to get their first win in Lawrence since 2020.
That was some good stuff, Sam. You just see the fight in Kansas State and points of the match where it didn't come easy. They stayed in there. They were the don't go away team, and now they leave, head to Manhattan with the W.
And Madison is with head coach Jason Mansfield.
All right, Coach, you won the Sunflower Showdown. You broke an 8-match win streak against Kansas. What does this say about the fire that this team has?
Yeah, it's my first one, you know, so it feels really good. But yeah, I think we just got to believe, right? We've been saying that for a couple weeks now. We've been really close against some great teams, and even after the first set, you know, we can believe that we can be better, and we were in the second set and just showed a lot of heart, you know, from this team, and they deserve this. They've been working really hard, and we've been really close, and I'm really proud of them.
You agreed to play in Allen Fieldhouse. What do you think about the way that Kansas showed up for this match?
Yeah, I think it's great. You know, we agreed to play here because they haven't played here either, so we felt like it was a little more of an equal advantage for both of us. But it was a great atmosphere. Kansas volleyball shows up, you know, they no matter where we play, they're going to come and support both teams, and I think it was an unbelievable environment, you know, and just blessed to be a part of it.
Thank you, Coach. Congrats. Great win. All right, I got Anaya Clinton here. Amazing match by you. What were you seeing out there on the court? You had 16 kills, really good performance.
Yeah, I think in the beginning of the week we watched film, we saw the shots that were open and things that we could hit, so I just kind of worked to my sheet and just kept at it.
Well, Kansas punched, you punched back. It was a back and forth battle. What does this communicate about the fire and the grit that this team has?
Yeah, I think we knew that they were going to come out when we won. I think we knew that wasn't them in the beginning, so we just knew that if they upped their level, we had to up ours as well.
Okay, last question. The team comes, big huddle at the end, nice little pile. What did that feel like?
It's so amazing. This is my first one against Kansas, and I've been here for 4 years, so I think we're all just kind of taking those emotions in and celebrating the big things that we just did.
Enjoy the celebration. Congrats.
Well, it is going to be a fun bus ride back to Manhattan, Kansas for these Wildcats. First time Anaya Clinton, as she just told you, has tasted victory against the Jayhawks. So for our excellent team in the truck and my Hall of Fame partner Mary Wise, and let's throw in Ray Bouchard as well, along with Madison Fitzpatrick, I have the honor of saying so long. I'm Sam Gore, and we want to remind you to tune into ESPN Sunday for women's volleyball. So long from Lawrence.